I'm your humble host, Joe Williams, for the Ragcast. Goodhart's Law. Companies and governments usually have some form of assigned metric that they measure and try to move towards desired outcomes with a system of incentives, rewards, and punishments. Goodhart's Law questions the validity of measures becoming a target, as once it does become a target, then it ceases to be a good target. This can be a very complicated trap to avoid. The economist Charles Goodhart was referencing the adage he is known for about monetary policy, or another law linked to the same theme, which is Campbell's Law from the notable social scientist Donald Campbell, about unintended consequences and cobra effects of public policy. There is also the Lucas critique from Robert Lucas, who argues that you cannot predict changes in economic policy based on the relationship to historical data. This is all dealt with public policy, but it can be very much true in the business world. What we can learn from these laws or critiques that applies to business in that we have to really think hard about what it really measures and how we move towards trying to accomplish goals or tasks against that measure, because it can lead to bad data or bad outcomes. Bad data or bad outcomes in a sense that often people will apply a rational expectation of that model, meaning that so long as they know that the model that they will learn how to game or manipulate it for their own benefit, which will always lead to bad data and bad outcome. If you have a check-the-box task for an employee that is easily checked without having to go through the entire task, they will often always go for the easy checkmark. If they learn how to use the systems to manipulate data to make them look good, then the data will be essentially useless to use. One of the clearest examples that could be made about all these complicated measures and metrics is the one of the typical sales goal. If the goal is to sell X number of units in a given time period, then the salesperson will go out of their way to sell the stated goal of X number of units, even if they have to sell the units at a loss. The measure target was accomplished, but it led to poor outcomes for the business. So, one must think very deeply and apply counterthoughts and scenarios on any incentive used to move the needle of a metric used to measure a goal, because once measured, could cease to be any good.